Okay, so 3 and 4 are going to go together because they're really close. So I'm just going to walk to number 4 after I'm finished here. But this is the battle that reaches Duncan's farm. And we're going to see and it returns here. So we're going to see this place says, most severe fighting during the Battle of Shiloh occurred on Duncan's farm. By mid-morning on the first day, General Albert Sidney Johnston's attack on the Union Army had advanced the battle lines more than a mile northward from where the fighting began at Fraley Field. Under the Confederate onslaught, General T. Sherman and Benjamin Prentiss Wallace, and you can read the rest, and the Iowa Infantry. From what? The Union Center and 6,200 men massed along the half-mile sector with 3,000 more in reserve. Confederate brigades advancing north from captured camps attacked this hastily formed front after 10 a.m. morning. That's the time slot. The battle began at about 5:58, or about 5:50 in the morning. It ended. It was almost for 13 hours. And then the battle ended on May 7th at 6 o'clock of Monday, April 7th, 1862. The battle ended here. There you can see the time slot of when the Union attack came on with Wallace. We're here. Duncan Field is right there. Of course, the battle returned. So this is stop number 3. We're going to go ahead and just walk to stop number 4 because it's right down the street. And so we're just going to walk to stop number 4 and then walk back. Because it's just right here. So that was Duncan's farm, and of course the field. Stop number 4. It's right here. And then that way we'll just go on to number 5, which is Shiloh Church, which is actually where I'd like to see most of. And then we'll just go from there. But back at Duncan's farm was where most of the battle took place. And it was that's where the most bloodiest occurred, was at Duncan's farm, which on the contrary actually was not at the Hornet's Nest, which was surprising, and at least that's what they said in the video, and said that this is the, of course this is the line of defense. Looks like the Confederacy, because it's in red. So we got the Confederate and tour stop number 4. And so we're just going to go ahead Mississippi, 6th Mississippi, Army of the Mississippi, about half the 230 Tennessee and 60 of the 6th Mississippi were engaged here at about noon on April 6th of 1862. So there's Baptist Church coming in, but we'll go ahead and walk along the side. So you can see all the cannons lined up in a row, like they're about to engage in a battle, but not this time. They have long since been gone. So we'll figure out what happens here, and then, like I said, we'll just go on to number 5 eventually. This is the Thunder in the Thicket. Cannons unleashed. After 6 hours of bloody fighting, a strong Union force still held the dense oak thicket choking the center of the battlefield. Confederate leaders realized infantry alone would not break this force. Needing more might, they began to shift artillery batteries to engage the Union strong point. Its battery commanders brought forward guns from various parts of the battlefield. They soon amassed a large concentration of field guns, yet witnessed on North American battlefield more than 50 cannons deployed at half-mile frontage, extending this point south. Right here. This is south. There were 50 of them lined up. Now there are not 50 cannons right here, but there were 50 cannons lined up, ready to open fire. This great storm of firepower kept the Union defenders pinned down while Confederate infantry moved to encircle the thicket, eventually forcing surrender. See, we're here, right? That's all 50 cannons. There are a lot more, but not here. This was of course, this is Bogart's infantry right here. Wallace on the Union side was covered in, but then they swooped in. He tried to cover ground. They stormed in, presumed an attack. Half-mile frontage. Wow, 50 cannons. That's crazy. 50 cannons along this line of defense. There, we'll just do it this way. So you can see Cushing's Alabama Battery, Pond's Brigade, Ruggles, 1st Division, Army of the Mississippi, one section with 2 guns of this battery. There we go. It was here from 3 p.m. to 5:30, 2.5 hours on April 6th of 1862 was engaged. You can walk along here, see these powerful machines. It's hard to move one of these. Tell you that. It takes a lot of strength to move one of these cannons into position. You can see, go ahead, you light the fuse right here. Light the fuse. And it's just so powerful. You have to stay in back because these things will launch. They will launch from the barrel, shoot straight out. It would probably hit, if you could aim it right, you could probably hit that stone right there in the far corner. That's how far these will launch. And so we'll just go through here and look at all these. These are not, well, I guess there are 50 cannons actually, because there's still more down that way. You can look, still more down that way. So there are 50 cannons lined up and ready to launch an attack. And so this was basically from the Hornet's Nest to Duncan's Farm, and now the brigade of 50 cannons. As they unleashed 50 cannons in the thunder of the thicket. Alright, I'm gonna go back to my car and drive on to Shiloh's church. A lot of action took place there as well. Like I said, this whole driving tour, I don't know if I'm gonna do the whole tour, but I'm gonna do a few spots here at the Battle of Shiloh. And so we're gonna go head back to the car now, and we're gonna see more of this Civil War history, one of the bloodiest battle that took place in North American history.